Hablaste con Scott, muy buena onda.
Sí, Scott sí, te hace reír, lo que pasa que a veces no entiendo mucho.
Claro.
Sí.
Con este te llevas.
Yes. The friendship we have all been waiting for. Have you seen that, Patrick?
What, Scott Carson and Echeverry?
The friendship we never knew we needed, that we need so badly. Well, listen, we all thought with Ederson leaving, Scott Carson was also going to be leaving. He's now got a new best friend. Give Scott Carson another 3 years.
His time will also come where they replace him.
So welcome to Man City Unplugged. Hamza is late. He's going to be here. I've just dropped him a message. He's just finished work, so he's going to be here shortly. And if he isn't, then you'll need to get him at Twitter and say, Hamza, where the hell are you? But he's guaranteed me he's going to be here, so he will be here shortly. But we have the main man who I thought wasn't going to be able to make it, but a bit like Dembele, he came through in the last minute. But unlike PSG, he's not starting off the bench. He is starting the game.
Now, apparently, I was shocked. Apparently, they have got a new system where every nurse has been given a patient. So instead of, like, you know how when they welcome you, like before they give you this tag, there's another nurse who takes you, then another one takes over. That's it. Now every nurse has one. So the lady I was with today, she just decided to do things fast. As soon as I was seen by the doctor and the go-ahead was done, she booked everything already. The pharmacy was bringing the stuff, and she called me within a few minutes. I was like, wow, that's shocking. She's like, yeah, we're doing a new system where everybody has a list of patients to focus on. So we're trying it out. So that's why I was like, yeah, I'm not going to sit here all day. Thank God.
Yeah. Well, 100%. They should be prioritizing that. Good news for that. Good news. You look well as well, Patrick. You look well.
Yeah. And my first, I think I did a video where I was telling people that when I wanted to go, when I'm due to go, as actually I'm due to go to Germany, but I had to fix up my bloods.
Right.
My first try of bloods today, my liver is better. It was on a certain rating. The rating went down, so I was smiling when they gave me those results. When I asked for them, all what's left is my red blood cells, and white blood cells seem like they're still struggling. But overall, everything said no more. I even put it in ChatGPT. It said no more. You're getting there, so I'm happy. So
good.
3 more blood tests, and I send them over, and I'm off to Germany, and then Bob's your uncle, as they say.
Bob's your uncle, fan is your aunt. Nice to see a West Ham fan in here.
No, I like him. He's always everywhere. Big up.
I wish I could show you. I actually have a West Ham London Stadium West Ham E20 up there as well. But nice to see Steve up in here. West Ham City. And yeah, do you know what? I'm actually having Italian tonight for last night, but I'll probably Soups. You got any French fries? In fact, bear with me. Give me 2 minutes. I need to do a costume change. Give me literally 2 minutes. Patrick, just tell him to smash a like and all that stuff.
No, yeah, I'll tell them. Let me see how many likes we have, though. That's the thing. Let me see first before I start asking people to smash likes. There's 101 okay, 101, about 101 of you watching this. 57. Okay, we're close. That's half. Yeah, go ahead, guys. So we're on 57, and there's 100 and no, there's actually 115. This is gas. There's actually 115 of you watching. This might be a sign. So smash the likes, get them to 115 also. So there's 115 watching. I'm gonna take a picture of this. This is a good moment.
Well, 115, it's always there, bro. 115 is always there.
Yeah, so it's 115.
Always there, 115. I swear down.
Smash the like, guys, for the 115. There's 117 now. So smash the likes is on 57 now. It's going up 67 now. From 57 to 67. 10 of you keep going, guys. But that's gas. It's always 115 watching.
Look at today I am feeling very French.
I used to like the Jordan ones, the white one, the white and black one. The white and black one. I think I that's the one.
Well,
yeah,
that one.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. That's the one. Yeah.
Oh, did you mean that one?
Yeah. White and black. Yeah.
I was a big fan of PSG's. A big fan of those PSGs, and the main man is here himself. Let me just duplicate Patrick and Hamza.
Let's go, Daps.
Come on, what you got for me, Hamza?
Come on.
What you got for me? What you got for me?
We can hear you in the background.
Huh? You should be able to see him any second. Bear with me. There he is. There's the main man himself. You got some PSG on for me, Hamza?
No, I mean PSG. Listen, let me find it. Let me find it in my bag.
Yeah, we're all feeling very PSG-ish today.
Yeah, I got it somewhere at the back. Yeah, definitely I got PSG.
I know you more than any of us. You're repping PSG tonight, right?
Absolutely, 100%. No chance, man. I came home. I was like, definitely 100%. 100%. I have to, man.
Do you think? By the way, people, we're not going to make the show too much about Arsenal, but we are going to talk on it. Do you see? I think, right, when I worry that a result isn't going to go my way, I convince myself that. So say with the FA Cup final, I'm going to convince myself that Crystal Palace might get something, right? Just for my own coping mechanism, right? I'm convincing myself that Arsenal are going to get something tonight for my own coping mechanism. I worry that if they get one, I keep seeing Declan Rice scoring, I don't know why, but I need that first.
You see Arsenal winning this.
Right, there's something in me that seems to think Arsenal might win this. Yeah,
I don't think so.
I don't. You know me. I don't want to predict at all, man, Daps, because every prediction I make is wrong. So,
what prediction did you make? Don't tell me you said Barcelona win. I bet he said Barcelona win.
Yeah, I said Barcelona.
Oh, yeah, he did. I saw his tweet.
Yeah, and I said everything. I said Real Madrid will do a comeback against Arsenal, and Arsenal have zero chance. So after that, I'm like, I'm a neutral. Let me just keep quiet about this.
Yeah. I hear you. I do hear you.
That means you've got bad vibes.
I just think that first goal tonight's absolutely massive because if Arsenal get a first goal, we don't know what will happen, right? I think if PSG get the first goal, PSG could end up winning 3-0, something like that, because Arsenal can afford to start the game a little bit conservative. They don't have to come flying out because it's only one goal. But if PSG get the first goal, Arsenal's whole game plan has to be gung-ho because they have to go and get basically 3. So,
that's true,
but don't know, man. Don't know. The game last night as well. Do you know what I've seen some people saying, right?
Yeah.
So obviously I thought Yamal was mint, but I've seen a few people saying, to be fair, Yamal was a bit like Doku yesterday. Great with his take-ons, but no final ball.
You see, this is what I said something like this in a group chat. I was like, why are you glazing Yamal? What he's doing exactly like he's that performed how Doku performed, because Yamal's shots usually go in, isn't it? And he always damages people and gets an assist. Yesterday, he was doing exactly what Doku was doing, where he dribbles past people and he couldn't get the end product because he was being cuffed yesterday. And I was like, there is a Doku performance. Would you call that a stinker? But people were saying, no, he's generational. So I was like, okay. So
he is only 17, to be fair, which is the difference.
It doesn't matter. When we say
and it was a semi-final.
Yeah, but at the end of the day,
he was literally, you could tell the rest of the Barcelona team were literally just giving him the ball and go and do something. I bet you do something.
So does City, isn't it? But I was like, people switch this age thing. I remember I was saying, if Yamal is 17 playing, then why don't we get 17-year-olds at City also playing? People said they're too young. No, but you know what, man? To be honest with you, Yamal is a baller, and to be 17 years old and to be doing that to grown-ass men, I was impressed. I don't know, Hamza, how you felt. Like there was a point in time he was on the middle of the pitch, Hamza, where people are all over him. 4 people. He managed to get the ball off. He managed to get. I was like, my God, this is talent. But you know what? I'm still saying this, and people can keep clipping me on this. I say, if you unleash Echeverry, we are going to be eating good too. We're going to be eating.
You know what pisses me off? Like when I see Yamal, I'm so angry because City were close to signing him, Kubasi and Balde. Like I remember, City were we were talking to him because City were poaching him like 2 years ago. Like me, Yamal, City were because City Pep's best friend runs La Masia Academy.
Yeah.
And they must have told Pep about this guy. But Lamine and Yamal was linked with City 2 years ago. And when I see him every time, I'm thinking, we could have had this guy, man. He's so good. He is a generational player.
Yeah.
No 17
Hamza, correction though.
Hamza,
Hamza, we could have had him in reserves at City. We could have had him.
Nah, listen, no. I think listen,
would he have started? Hamza, would he have started?
He's generational, man.
Was he gonna start? Was he gonna start?
Pep loves the La Masia graduates, you know.
Eric
There's a valid point. Eric Garcia.
Yeah,
bro. When he'd already told the club, I'm leaving on a free, and you ain't getting no money for me. We kept playing him in the Champions League, so I do hear what you're saying.
La Masia graduate. He has loyalty towards Barcelona and Catalan. And to me, listen, you know what thing that impressed me about that Barca team? I said it before. I've not seen a team that are fearless. They don't mind going 2-0 down. They don't mind going 3-0 down. And they'll go toe-to-toe with you. And they play high risk. They're like, okay, you score goals, we'll score goals. Let's go.
Do you know what it was in the second half as well, yeah? It's really weird because I think... What was I doing in the first half? I think I was watching Homeland in the first half, I'll be honest with you. Homeland overran, so I was watching that. But then the second half, the minute I turned it on and the way the second half started, I don't know if it had rained. It felt like it had rained in the first half, because the ball was not moving quickly, right?
Yeah,
it was, and it reminded me of a bit like when you watch someone play FIFA, the way the ball was moving at that kind of pace, right? But it was the way, even at 2-0 down, they were still playing patient football.
Yeah,
right? They weren't just launching it in the box. They were still playing patient football. And you just think, I hate to say it, but when I see that, it just takes me back to prime Man City. And I know, look, I'm not saying we were the first to do it, but when I see Barca play like they were in the second half in particular, I think, you know what? You know, when we turned over Madrid, when we turned over Bayern Munich, that was us then. That was us then.
Yeah, but you know what? Thierry Henry is right. Sorry, Hamza. Thierry Henry is right. I actually fell in love with football again yesterday, and he's not wrong. I know people are going after him, saying, "Oh, Thierry is talking crap." It was actually exciting. I sat there, and you know what? It's PSG. That's why I don't want to see Arsenal. That's why I don't want to see Arsenal Inter in the final. But I love Inter that they also went gun-ho and said the brakes are off. But PSG and Barcelona have been a breath of fresh air. And Hamza is right. The football is beautiful. Like I don't like the high line doesn't matter. They will find you. They don't care. They will find you. They'll also get into your box. It's just unfortunately, I think Lewandowski was not there to finish some of the chances. But that's what football is, and that's what was exciting. I'm sorry, City fans. Our football hasn't been amazing. I have fallen asleep in our football. Go ahead.
You know one thing I said. They're fearless. Look against the El Clasico. They were 3-2 and about Real Madrid was celebrating as if they won it. They were just fearless. Lamine just said side foot. What a turn! What a pass! Ferran Torres went around the keeper, bang, goal. Then they finished them. This team, the only criticism I have to give at Barcelona was one thing. Yeah, Lamine Yamal was involved. If you knew it, yeah, they were winning 3-2.
Instead of keeping the ball at the corner, keep the ball at the corner.
They were winning 3-2. They didn't do what City do. City, what we do most, Bernardo Silva. They'll go around, move the ball around, and they'll get a foul. He went for a shot. He could have scored. But from that, it led to a goal. So to me, that is what they don't mind. They want to score another one. They want to score another one.
That's the thing. That's where, like, if you go back to, I'm gonna try. I think it's
17-18 City.
No. 2022 semi-final against Madrid at the Bernabeu. Jack Grealish threw on goal. Probably should have ran it to the corner. He went for a goal, hit the post.
Yeah, I thought you. But I thought you were about to the fact that City, for City in the Champions League, we also had that behavior. Is it 17-18?
Yeah, we have.
Monaco. Remember the Monaco game? The Monaco game. All we had to do is start keeping the ball, but we continued going toe to toe with Monaco, and they got the away goals. Remember the 5-3 or something.
but same with that Real Madrid game, bro. You got to remember, we were 1-0 up, and we were going through to the final in Paris, right?
Yeah, I took my shirt off and started running.
We were going through, and then Grealish was through on goal, and Should he have shot? Should he ran it to the corner? He probably should have shot. But I think you are right, Hamza, that what we've seen, and this is actually, if we talk about this season, the one thing well, they've done a few good things that the Unks have done this season is when we have in this run-in for Champions League football, when it gets to the last 10, 15 minutes, we are controlling games and we're seeing the games out. And that's the one thing with the lack of experience with Barcelona yesterday. When they went 3-2 up, they should have saw that game out.
Yeah, they should have.
That game 100% was theirs to see out.
And especially Italian teams. What you do is we knew how to play Inter Milan. Look how we play. Italian teams are very smart. They know how to play football. Yeah. And look when Inter went 3-2 after extra time, what they did, they just everyone packed the bus. They could have scored a Barcelona, but the thing is, you lost that game on the basis of that decision. Yeah. And I think they're too brave. They're so excited. They don't mind scoring. Look at them against Dortmund. They were 4-0 up in the first leg.
First leg, yeah.
And they didn't mind for Dortmund scoring 4 goals against them. City would have gone there like what we did to Bayern Munich. We went there. What did we do? We sat back.
Yeah.
In fact, we sat back, sat Haaland up front, got that ball. John Stone hoofed it. Kevin De Bruyne passed it to Haaland. Bang, goal. Finished. Yeah. And that's smart. It doesn't absorb the pressure and you hold on to that pressure. But it was and I think Inter clocked them. They knew straight away that the only way to play this Barcelona time, they will concede goals. All you need to do. But they were playing such a dangerous high line.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. Mad high line. Mad. It is. I mean, to be fair, can you imagine? Yeah, that's been us this season. That was us October through till January.
Absolutely.
Can I ask you a question though? Before you move on like okay, so this was the argument in our City group. I think Hamza, you missed it, but it was in the City group. Hamza, you're there. There was people saying, there was other people supporting Inter and saying, you guys say you need youngsters at City. Some people in the group are saying you need youngsters at City, but look at the Inter uncles slapping. Obviously, the people are talking as Inter is up. Then us with the kids, we're talking when Barca is up. But let me ask a question, right? And all the time, I know I piss off a lot of people, but I just ask things that are in my head. I kept on thinking yesterday. I asked one person and they ignored this. I was like, so if the uncles managed, which is the Inter team, I saw the age of the Inter team, majority of them are set and are close to the age of our players. If they were able to reach here and Inzaghi is able to get this team here, and some of the City fans were hyping the Inter team as being uncles, we need experience. Why did City fail to do something similar? Why did Pep Guardiola fail to do what Inzaghi has done with a 37-year-old defender, a 35-year-old Mkhitaryan, and most of them were 30 in that team, and he was still managing with the youth Barcelona team.
But you're saying most of, we're literally saying our midfield are all over the age of 30. Not most of, all of our midfield. Like straight away, Barella is 28, I believe. So that's a little. But also, one thing I would say is,
how old is Barella's partner? The other guy, what's his name?
Canoglu is 30, 31.
Okay, so we're saying that's our conversation.
Yeah. But then the other thing I would say, I was actually going to say is, if we were to, right, you got to remember we played Real Madrid. We played Real Madrid at probably when our confidence was very low, right? If we would have played a different team with these uncles in a semi-final, as an example, and our confidence was high, would it be different? And it is a different system as well. It is a different system, so you can't really compare it. But and also there probably is relevance. Let's remove age from it from a second. Although age is important, let's remove age from it and talk about what these players at Manchester City have done over the last 8 years, how much they have played. So age is relevant, but also how many games they have been playing.
That's
the intensity they have had for the last 8 years. It's not just age, it's the intensity they've been hit with. Because if you're 35, but you haven't been working, you haven't been married, you haven't had a kid, right? You've been exercising every day, but not too hardly. You've just been living the life of Riley, then that's not going to be the same as a 35-year-old that's fucking had a stressful life.
Mkhitaryan is 36. Canova is 31.
Bro, that is mental, by the way. That Mkhitaryan, bro,
No,
he's 36, and he was running like that yesterday.
Patrick, The problem is you don't realize what I predict. I told you guys is fatigue. You know, when you've run City, all the league title we've won is the final day. We've been going to the Champions League semi and final every single year.
Yeah.
We've been going to the FA Cup final every single year with a squad of very tiny squad.
Yeah.
That I can name you the players that played. You guys can name me the same players been playing for the last 4 years. It comes to a time they're human beings. They become exhausted. And you can't, and exhaustion leads to injury, repetitive playing, and that's what's happened to us this season. Look at Bernardo, completely a different player when we've rested him for 3-4 games. Look at a different player. Before that, everyone was like, Bernardo is crap. He's done. He's finished. Bernardo had 3 games rest. He's completely a different player. These players just needed that smart extra players to be around them so that they could be rotated. And also the injury. There's no way Inter Milan, any team in the world. There's a reason why Fergie's team didn't win 4 in a row, because fatigue.
Yeah,
finishing third and fourth.
And it's mental and physical
fatigue. So basically, it brings me to my other question. So is it then that if that's the case, which you look at saying, okay, we need to rest these other players, right? So look, because I'm just saying, looking at that Inter game, regardless of the fact that they haven't done too much intensity, I was just impressed looking at the 37-year-old defending and running toe-to-toe with Yamal. I was like, no way he's 37. This fella is not 37. I mean, he must look after himself. So are you trying to tell me that even this City team, let's say, for instance, how City fans want to chase everybody who's over the age of 30. So you're telling me that maybe when they need rest, and they have a balance and maybe less issues, this City team can still cook with the
look at this as well. Look at it is true. It's a slower league, like the comparison of leagues. What our players are having to do
in the UCL,
overall, hold on. You can talk the UCL, but if all season you're playing league games, right? You can't just look at the UCL because you're doing both. It's a really good point. I even look at this season, right? And I look at Arsenal and where Arsenal are now. Arsenal are second, and I know Arsenal fans are now going to say that they're not going to win the league because of injuries, right? That's what they're saying. Yeah. But you know, Arsenal, right? And again, if we were to catch up with Arsenal fans will say, well, that's because we've been focusing on the Champions League. Yeah. Now, throw back to pretty much any, apart from the 100-point season, throw back to any of our seasons, yeah? Have we ever had this luxury of quarterfinals, semi-finals of the Champions League? Going, we don't need to worry about the league. We'll rotate. Our mind's not on the league. We've never had that, right? And that is where I really do think, for me, like trebles need to be looked at and given way more respect than they are. Like, for me, I don't know if any of you saw this poll recently. Manchester City's treble, that title winning side was apparently the 28th best Premier League win, right? The 28th best, while it was in a season where we fucking went unbeaten in Europe and won an FA Cup. And apparently that league win was the 28th best Premier League win of all time. How does that make sense? While you're doing that, while competing in the fucking Champions League and the FA Cup, it's just mental.
Yeah. And that's what I was saying to Patrick. Like, in terms of like, what concerned me is the fact that not only we're playing every 3 days in the most competitive league in the world, in a most physical league in the world, with a squad that was quite small of 15 players who are senior, and all those players, we sent most of our players to the World Cup and the Euros than any other team. So our players came back within the World Cup, started for our team again, went on to win the treble, came back, started another season, nearly won the treble. Could have won the treble. They could have won the treble. And we had lost a major sign like Gundogan. And then the season after this season, they went to the Euros. Yeah. And we had KDB win the Euros at the age of 30. Yeah. Akanji, Ake, Diaz, all these players, all of our players went to the Euros. Yeah. So they come back, no rest. Rodri went to the Euros, went to the final, came back, and the only rest was through his injury. Through his injury, he was given 3 weeks rest. He was rehabilitating from an injury. As soon as he got fit, Premier League started.
Yeah.
Patrick, that is the reason why. If these players had rest, these are the same players that won us trebles and doubles and how many 4 in a row. They're absolute world-class players. You'll never
So,
get players
so
like this.
basically, they're not finished.
I don't believe they're finished. I don't believe many players are
So
finished.
we can keep them.
No, sometimes you have to go through change.
Hold on. But for me, right, sometimes people just need, as Hamza said, sometimes people just need to refresh. Like, as an example, do I think Marcus Rashford is finished? No. Do I think Marcus Rashford at Man United's finished? Yes, right? Because I just think sometimes they need a change. But also, can these players, right, when we signed Gundogan, was the expectation Gundogan was going to play over 30 games this season? I don't believe so, right? I don't believe so. I think in all competitions, we probably expected him to play 20, 25 max, coming off the bench here and there. We didn't expect him to start these number of games. Same with De Bruyne. For me, I remember doing a show at the back end of last season when Foden was really informed, saying Foden should probably be rested. Foden should probably start now and De Bruyne should come off the bench more, right? So all of these players, I don't think we expected them to play as much. Just want to, before we move into things, just want to give this super chat. When's the charges? Looking forward to having Bowen Pie at the Etihad. Appreciate the super chat, Chris. Yeah, 100%. You need to get to the Etihad and have one of those Bowen Pies. I recommend the Balti Pie. As for the charges, I must admit, I read something today, right, where they're saying that the charges might actually not come out for another year or so, which I'm so done with. But I don't know if there's any truth in it. But there was 2-3 articles today talking about the charges not being over for another couple of years. So we will see. We will see. Right. Let's get into some City chat, though. To be fair, we have already. So, Hamza, quite interesting because you have just come on and you're literally defending the uncles, right?
Yeah.
Which is nice. Which is nice to see. Which is nice to see that. But I obviously I don't know how much you watch the channel or whatever, but you do watch a lot of Twitter. You do see a lot of Twitter. You see all the debates with the players we should go for, the players we should go for. I sat earlier on and had a look at the players that I think we're going to get at the moment, right? Because obviously everyone's being really, really critical of the board at the moment. And the window hasn't even opened, by the way. We're still already criticising the board, which is mental. But, right, if I list some players, I want you to tell me, both of you, you and Patrick, what the chances of us getting them are, you think. Diogo Costa.
I think likely.
Patrick, would you agree?
Yeah, I think that's the keeper. I think that there's been a lot of rumors, so we say about 98%. We're leaving that 2% in case.
I think likely. Hugo Viana signing.
Yeah. Okay. Right. And if we're looking at the fact that Ederson is wanting to leave, and we have to, so it's not us saying we want to sell Ederson, but Ederson's going. How do you two feel about between your debate? How do you feel about Costa coming in?
Go ahead, Hamza.
I think he's 2 years ago. I heard good things about him, but then he went under the radar. Before that, but he's a Portuguese international. Hugo knows about him. He plays for Portugal. He's not a bad keeper. Only him, Espanyol keeper, and Chalaver were linked with. And I think that one, I wouldn't have a problem at all. I think people who are being critical, I think he's a good keeper. I think he's okay. But if you want Chalaver and Espanyol keeper, if they're better, probably they're better. But to me, I don't see anything bad about Diogo Costa.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you, especially with the fact of, how good he is with his feet, how important that is to us. I know people are going to say, he's not as good shot stopper, but listen, we got told the same about Ederson. And in our most important moments, Ederson stood the fuck up and won us the Champions League. So, all right, cool. Then let's move on. Cambiaso. What do you think the chances of us getting Cambiaso are?
I don't know. That one is, I don't know. That one is iffy because I know a lot of people are saying, the deal is done. It's all cemented. But now with the links with other fullbacks, I don't know. The Cambiaso one, the funny thing is, ever since we were linked with him, Juventus seemed to be playing him a lot. That's the funny thing. Ever since we just got linked with him, that's when they started giving him the spotlight.
I can't imagine an Italian team holding back on paying a player, though. They wouldn't give a shit about us. They wouldn't.
You think so?
No, they wouldn't. No. Well, what I got
No, I'm
told...
just saying he had. Remember there was drama before. That's what people were saying, that there was drama between him or the coach or something. But now,
Yeah, him and Thiago Motta. Thiago
Yeah.
Motta had an issue with him, and he wasn't playing him. And there was an issue with him. There was a bust up between some players with Thiago Motta, like Vlahovic,
Right.
I think him, and he didn't get played. To me, I don't know. I think as a right back or as a left back.
I think mostly left back. That's what he.
No, he plays as a right back.
I'm not going to lie.
Dexterous.
I think it's good that we'd be getting someone that can play on the left and right.
He can play both.
Yeah.
I think.
I would not be surprised if we see him on the right.
Yeah, I think.
I
Yeah,
wouldn't be
as a right
surprised
back.
if
Yeah, I think he's. But what I've heard from people is the fact defensively he's poor, but he's Italian as well. He can improve that part. But I think they've scouted. They're likely a good player. From what I'm hearing from Juventus fans, they highly rate him. And Juventus fans,
I've
upset
spoken
that
to a
the fact
few.
he's leaving. And Juventus will not be upset if he's a bad player. And we've done business with them. We got Cancelo from them last time.
Yeah.
From Danilo's
And I think the fact that we were interested in January and the fact we're still interested now tells you that Pep really wants him, that he's probably, maybe Pep does see him a bit like Cancelo because he is better going forward, not as good defensively. But I would say as an Italian, like Hamza, you said, I think there's a chance that you're probably still going to be better defensively than Cancelo was. What I've been told on Cambiaso was that we could have got the deal done in January, but it would have cost us an extra 10 to 15 million because they wanted him for the rest of the season. And they said, look, we'll take 50 if it's in the summer. You want him now 65, right? So I personally think Cambiaso is going to get done. Then we move on to Morgan Gibbs-White, which, look, we will discuss it. I know, Hamza, you'll want to discuss it, but the chances of getting him, I think, again, by the way, I still don't think it's nailed on we get him because I would hope it isn't nailed on we get him because I don't want to pay too much for him. And I still wonder what Forest are going to... ask for him.
Do you know what's making me laugh about? Do you know what's making me laugh about Gibbs-White? Like at the end of the day, I know some people are thinking
you're not going to do the same as you did on Twitter, are you?
No. I'm just saying. It's just that people. I know they're saying I'm a Morgan Gibbs-White hater, but for me, in my life,
Defense League, Morgan Gibbs-White. You're a hater. Sorry, Martin's a Defense League. That's it.
I know. Yeah. So you know what's funny? Because my grandmother once told me that when somebody has done wrong, they always find. Or when somebody knows something is wrong, they put extra spice to sort of convince you what it is. Because the thing about Morgan Gibbs-White is, if he's such a good player, why are people working so extra hard to tell you why City should sign him?
Hold on. But to be fair, that's because, right, you can't do that, Patrick. You can't be working extra hard to slander a player and then go, why are people working extra hard to defend him? And you know my take on him, right? So I'm not a Morgan Gibbs-White defender. I would like to think I'm kind of a bit in the middle on it, yeah? But if you're slandering him, you have to understand if people rate him, they're gonna put in as much effort as you're putting in slandering him and defending him.
Look, there's certain players in this world that you're like, okay, I get what you're saying, get the point. But if we're looking for an engine, there's an engine in the team in Nunes, and that guy is being played as a right back. It's just, I'm asking people that, okay, you're talking about number 8s. If we go seasons ago, Nunes was more the number 8 everybody wanted than Morgan Gibbs-White. Morgan Gibbs-White was there at Wolves. I don't think anybody was batting an eye.
Yeah, but that's 2 seasons, bro. Things changed. But two seasons ago, I wouldn't have been screaming about Yamal.
I know, but even now, if somebody told me that, I don't know, I heard somebody on a space saying they saw him in the game recently, and they started saying things that I was like, did we watch the same game? Like, I swear.
Monday night, I thought he was bad. I don't.
Oh, not what that person said in the space. Hamza, this person saw the game, and at the point where I went back and watched the game, I was like, no, maybe I'm being a hater. I watched properly. I was like, no. I was like, what I'm looking at, I have seen this at Bournemouth in the Bournemouth midfielders that are even playing like this. Like, it's just the fact that, look, at the end of the day, we're going to get him, and he's not a bad player. It's just that the extra spices that have been put is when you're like, are you really trying to just convince us, you know? Because 80 million for Morgan Gibbs-White, I don't know if Hamza, you're taking 80 million.
I think I've said before, first thing, uncomfortable conversation, does he improve us? Does he improve? That question is, does he improve Manchester City football?
Do you know what, bro? If you would have seen the show this morning, I was talking on Wirtz, right, ultimately, and I said the reason, right, I said, do we need a 10? Is a 10 that like we must get right now? And for me, it's not, yeah, because we have Marmoush, we have Echeverry, we have McAtee, we have Foden, we have Bob, we have 5 players, we have Grealish, we have 6 players that can play in the 10 role. Now, the reason why I want Wirtz is because Wirtz improves us, right? Yeah. So that's why where I am with Wirtz is get me Wirtz. If you can't get me Wirtz, don't just go and get me any other 10, right? Because we already have good 10s. I would rather that money is invested in getting me an 8 that I know factually comes in and improves us. And that is where I am with Gibbs-White. I don't know if Gibbs-White improves us. It's a risk with me. Because what I've been told by Wolfie, a Forest fan, is that when he's seen him in the 8 role, he's very good, right? But he hasn't seen him in the 8 role much, right? And that is, I watched it on Monday. I'm looking to see Gibbs-White, but Gibbs-White was clearly playing in a 10 role, which he has been most of the season. So it's difficult for me to judge how good he would be in the 8 role. So it's a risk, and that is where I am with 80 million. 80 million for a risk. I don't know how. And the question, I don't feel comfortable
that's
with
the word I said to a lot of fans. Does he improve Manchester City? And people said, no, he works hard. He reminds me, he's like Bernardo. I said, Bernardo Silva came against Manchester City when he played at Monaco, and he absolutely slaughtered Yaya Toure. I'll never forget that game. Both games, he was outdone against Yaya Toure, who we rate so highly. And we knew he's an elite player. He's one of the best players in French football. He was voted one of the best players at French football at that time.
Yeah.
We knew if he comes in, he improves us. Gundogan's style is a number 8.
Look at that comment. Sorry. Look at that comment down there. It says it stinks of Forest, Mason Mount. It does.
To me, I'll say he reminds me. I think he's either a type of player like James Milner. If you tell me he's James Milner, you're going to run him around, get him to do the hard work.
Barry.
I understand. Because you need James Milner.
You need Gareth Barry.
You need Henderson. You need Gareth Barry.
But this is a thing, right? Yeah. This is a thing. When we spoke about Gareth Barry the other day, Gareth Barry, and I was actually shocked how little we paid for him. Gareth Barry was 15 million, right? And that is the right. And by the way, someone just said if it was 70 to 75, would there be an issue? Ultimately, whatever we pay, right? For me, once we sign the player, there will not be an issue, right? I'm airing my concerns right now, and I'm putting my concerns on paper. I also put my concerns with Calvin Phillips on paper. By the way, I've also got things wrong with players. I was concerned with Rodri after one season. I'll admit it. I was.
Everybody was. I think everybody was.
After Rodri's first season, I said, but I don't know if any of you ever realised this. Rodri's first season, Bernardo Silva played very limited football, right? And at the end of that season, I said for Rodri and Gundogan to work, they need Bernardo Silva's legs next to them, right? Bernardo played the next season, Rodri improved. So I get things wrong. But with Morgan Gibbs-White, if he comes in, I'll back him 100%. Yeah. But I do think that the fee, the pressure the fee brings is not a good start. It's not a good start.
He's not proven. The games I've watched him against Tottenham, Crystal Palace, and I've watched him against Brentford, he had a stinker. Yeah. If you are not able to deliver in those crucial games, people are telling me, no, the reason why his head is at Man City. I'm thinking, hold on. So the guy we're kicking out as KDB, his head is at Man City and he's delivering when he knows he's going to be leaving. He wants to deliver us the Champions League and he knows he's leaving. But then we got Morgan Gibbs-White here. The most important games for Nottingham Forest. I'm not saying he's delivering at the big occasion. I'm seeing the likes of Elanga and all that stuff. And I've seen Murillo stand out. But Morgan Gibbs-White to me, people are telling him the profile is hard work. He's not the level of
Hamza. He got dominated by KDB and Grealish in midfield at home. Don't forget he got dominated by KDB and Grealish.
KDB can still play, no doubt about it.
They dominated him at home.
Morgan Gibbs-White. If you tell me he's McAtee replacement, I say fine, okay, fine, I accept that one. But when people are saying he's a hard worker like Bernardo Silva, he does. But Bernardo Silva is a classy player. Have you seen him in the Champions League? What he used to do for us?
Yeah,
you remember one season? He carried us.
People forget that this is the thing with Bernardo Silva. Cass, actually, we were talking about most underrated City players, and Cass actually said to me the other day, you know what, I'd kind of put Bernardo in there because at the moment we talk about Bernardo's legs, and we can go back to when Bernardo first arrived at City and say, you know what, Bernardo has always been a hard worker. He's always put the shifts in, but we can also talk about some of the runs Bernardo goes on. We can talk about the way Bernardo Silva had fucking Van Dijk like Bambi on ice, right? We can talk about how him and Mahrez used to link up down that right-hand side, right? Bernardo Silva, you're spot on. Do you know what? I've heard, and I agree, I'm not comparing him to Messi, but as far as when he runs with the ball, he kind of is a little bit Messi-like, right? We're not doing that with Morgan Gibbs-White. But do you know what? I have heard that he's good in an 8 role when he's been played there. I don't know if his job is going to be to drive with the ball and to get the ball to the 10 as quickly as possible. And I think that's what we've been lacking a lot this season, right? He's not going to be, which is totally different to De Bruyne. But let me ask you a question, right? If we don't get Wirtz, and someone just said this, and we get another 8 alongside Gibbs-White, and we get a more creative 8, right? A more techie 8, would that soften the blow of Morgan Gibbs-White coming in?
I think if you can't get Wirtz, you have to get 2 good players.
Two good
You have
eights.
to go and get Xavi Simons and probably someone else like Reinders and get Morgan Gibbs-White. Because what's happened is a lot of fans have seen like people being told that it's going to be a rebuild, and especially what's happened this season. Yeah. I'll give you an example. Bernardo Silva was player of the year for Man City 2018-19. He carried us the whole season. He carried us.
It's unbelievable.
He was player of the year of Man City. He's made PFA team of the year twice or 3 times. He's an elite club. Are you telling me Morgan Gibbs-White can match that? No chance. Gundogan carried us. Remember how many games?
Yeah.
Remember
COVID season.
After COVID,
he was top goal scorer out of nowhere.
And those are number 8. Yaya Toure, number 8, carried us. So when people say he's a number 8, I'm looking at number 8. Number 8 are hard workers in midfield. They dominate. They're the ones that basically carry Barella. You can see them around.
And they control the game. They control the game. Yeah.
I can see him probably being utilized as a player or like an all-rounder. Play here, play behind. We're winning 2-0. Come on, stay back a bit. He will work hard. But for me to see him as a signing and we miss out on Wirtz, and then suddenly we get only one player, because KDB is a major blow. People don't realize losing KDB is a big blow for Man City. We lost Aguero. I think we could have replaced her. We lost David Silva. I felt we could replace her. KDB, I'm looking at that. I'm thinking the guy who's making 21 assists, the guy who's the game changer. He's the guy that loves to carry you in big games in the Bernabeu. You're losing a major name in football. You cannot make it. You cannot get it wrong. You can't get it wrong, you know.
Well, you know what? I'll be honest with you. I did say this. I don't think I'm right. I'm going to have faith in the board. The reason why I'm going to have faith in the board this summer is if you go back to there's 2 windows for me that are big windows. The first one was 2010 when we bought Kolarov, we bought Boateng, we bought Yaya Toure, we bought David Silva. Right, 7 years later, we had another big window where we bought Bernardo Silva, Ederson, Walker, Mendy. I think a couple of other players came in that window as well. We are now 7 or 8 years on from that again. Now, I think that is pretty much what our board has realised. Every 7-8 years, we need a rebuild. Now, the board got it wrong. We should have done it last summer. The board knows there is pressure on them already, right? Irrelevant to what happened this season, because we got it wrong last summer, the board knows this summer is a rebuild, yeah? Secondly, whereas previously when we've gone into transfer windows, we've usually won the league, right? So it's a transfer window just to stay ahead of everyone else. This transfer window, we must get it right, because not only do we have to rebuild, but we also have to play catch up. So I think the board are going to go all out.
Yeah, but are we playing big catch up? Because look at us right now. A team that was in disaster has just fixed themselves a bit and they're already close. So are we playing big
No. Hold on. Pep said it, bro. You've seen the Pep interviews when people have said, "Oh, is the season actually not that bad?" And he said, literally, I think it was Pep's last interview he did. He got asked the same question: if you win the FA Cup and get Champions League football, is it a bad season? And he said, yes, it's a bad season. Stop doing this, right? He said mistakes were made.
I'm talking about buying two players.
No,
like
but
buy two quality players.
No. He said last season we made big mistakes. We're not going to make the same mistakes again.
Oh, okay,
we're not going to. He said it, and that's why. By the way, if we do get it wrong, we have to be critical of the board. We can't then go, oh, nah, you know what, we'll give them another. We have to be. But at this point, they reacted very quickly from our form between October and December. They reacted in January, right? They went and got some work done. So, 20 points off is mad. It is insane. Right.
Let's I was just thinking that, can I say something on this? Why, I don't know. I keep thinking about this, and I know a few people haven't given me an answer. Have you seen the fact that we have two number 8s in this team, by the way? Yes, apart from Gundogan, but we've got Nunes, right? Who Pep says is not smart enough to play midfield. And then we've got Nico Gonzalez, who's also a number 8.
I know your shares in Nunes took a mad drop, yeah. Yep. They've risen up nicely, haven't they?
I have never sold him out. I've always been on his corner.
I just realised, bro, you never sold them, and now there must be an all-time high.
I'm enjoying. I'm eating good.
I always told Patrick he's not a midfielder.
You know what?
Patrick, I told you from the beginning. When Pep said, what did I say? Pep said he doesn't have brains to play midfield.
Yeah, but the thing is, Pep Guardiola also
said he can play. That was from the best midfielder in the world to say.
Yeah, but he also said at the beginning that this guy has the legs to play a fullback, and that's when he signed him. So maybe that's what he wanted. But let's talk about, like, let's say I'm still putting Nico O'Reilly, Nunes, and Nico Gonzalez as potential 8s. I feel like Nico Gonzalez can play 8, and he's a Malasia kid, and I think he's very good as an 8. Do we need an 8, or we just need to find an all-rounder midfielder, and we'll be good? Let's just say we find somebody who's an all-rounder. Is that maybe why they're bringing Gibbs-White? Do we really need Gibbs-White, or we can have a midfield of Rodri, Nico Gonzalez, and Foden and still cook?
Right, let me ask you two a question. Who would you rather, Kulusevski or Morgan Gibbs-White?
Kulusevski. Fact.
Same.
Yeah, I like.
I mean, I get it. We probably don't do business with Spurs, but I was just thinking, for me, Kulusevski would right. If we were to offer Spurs what we're going to offer Forest for Morgan Gibbs-White, I think we'd get Kulusevski.
Yeah, I think they'll give you.
I think we'd get Kulusevski for probably 70 million.
Yeah.
And I think he's better in the 8 and 10 role than Morgan Gibbs-White. Anyway, I'm sold on Morgan Gibbs-White. Not sold. In fact, I've been loaned him. I don't really want him, but I'm taking him. I'm accepting. I'm moving on. Where do you two think with Wirtz? Are you two on the we ain't getting him, or are you two?
I think we have to wait. I think all these stories coming from Germany are just like PR, and none of the sources have been that great. And neither Fab or David Onstein or anybody reliable from Germany has actually come out and said anything. I think it's so quiet in that camp. We just have to wait and see. I think we'll start seeing about Wirtz in a few weeks. I think in a few weeks you start, because it's getting close to the Club World Cup, and City are playing the Club World Cup, and I'm pretty sure 100% with Bayern already winning the league, we're going to have to start talking to him, or even if we start talking to him, there's going to have to start stories coming out that we are signing him. So maybe he ends up in the Club World Cup. I'm pretty sure most players want to join that. But I don't know. It's just, I think people are panicking. But if Wirtz doesn't come in, I'm pretty sure the board has got somebody in secret. Because I've said it to many people. Let's not forget that Ruben Diaz was not the first choice, and nobody knew about Ruben Diaz. Let's not forget Nico Gonzalez was not the one where we were all twerking for Zubamende, and Nico Gonzalez walked through the door. We all thought Zakaria and the famous DMs would come to City, and Rodri showed up, and people were telling us that it's Thomas Partey who's the baller, it's not Rodri. So let's just leave it how it is and see. I'm telling you, you might find that Wirtz doesn't come in, we start crying, and these guys are at number 10 somewhere that walks in.
Patrick, I think it's the fact of KDB leaving. That's a big blow. I keep saying. Like, you can't just replace KDB with nobody. You have to get it right. And
big facts,
we're losing a major player in our
same with Aguero, isn't it? Same as Aguero,
bigger than Aguero.
Bigger than Aguero.
Because
I'm just saying, Aguero, we go in and go to Haaland.
Do you know what? We have to be real with ourselves with the Aguero thing, right? We won the league, before so the season before, I think the season Aguero left us, we won the league with Aguero playing quite minimal games, right?
Yeah.
Aguero was injured a lot of that season, right? Yeah. And we still won the league. So we were already in a place where we could play the false nine, right? We were already there, You take De Bruyne out, then I think, right, at the moment, we're getting wins by what our wide players are doing. Our midfielders are not creating much. And to be fair, apart from Cover and De Bruyne stepping up with an odd goal here and there, it's all coming down the flanks, right? It's not going through the middle like we used to. Nope. We do need a De Bruyne replacement. And do you know what? That doesn't necessarily mean a 10, because we do have, like I said, Bob, Echeverri, Foden, Marmoush, Grealish, McAtee. We've got players that can play the 10 role. For me, we need more creativity in the 8 role.
I think as well, I'll tell you this, Echeverri is not staying. I think Echeverri will be gone on loan. Because
I don't think he is,
I don't think so.
I'll be shocked if Echeverri.
I think the PR machine. I think the Man City PR machine's going on full spin on him at the moment. I just can't see it. We're putting too much energy into him.
We never put that on Peroni. We never even put that on Alvarez. We never even put that much on Alvarez.
Now the PR spin on him at the moment.
Have you seen the videos? Have you seen the constant videos, Hamza?
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen it, but I think
there's one.
The club are PRing him big time. Yeah, the club are really PRing.
Every week.
Yeah, the club are really going in on.
I think he needs development. I think we have to be very careful with him. Like, you need to develop him very well, because you've seen, let's say for example, players like Simpson Pussy. They've been given 2-3 games. Shocker, you don't see them again. Pep expects him to play. Look at Kusunov. Kusunov's come in and he's played very well. Just a little time. I didn't even make a mistake. Kusunov is not playing anymore. So I'm telling you now, Pep is very shrewd. Like, Pep will want, especially after losing the league title. Pep's not a player that a manager who comes here and says, I'm going to develop a player. He will say, I want to win the league title. What does it take for me to win the league title? I want this. I think he's going to win the league title, because it depends on all the signing that we get. And this is why Pep stayed. Pep stayed because of what's happened. If we had won 5 in a row, Pep would never have stayed. I think Pep's going. I think after what's happened, Pep is more motivated. He said, the day I'll leave is the day I'm not going to be motivated. He's now more motivated that people have said, oh, you're finished, you're scored. Yeah. Let's see whether you're going to rebuild like Fergie, He has stayed to do what City you will see this summer. And I think players we're going to get should be quality. That's what we're still chasing Wirtz. If there's any other manager, I said no.
I do think it's to do with the fact that Tick is going, the fact of the relationship he's got with the club. He didn't want to leave the club. Like, you got to always remember, David Gill and Fergie went at the same time. Right, it wasn't just Fergie leaving; it was Fergie and David Gill going at the same time. Didn't want to do the same thing. What was I going to say? There was one other thing I was going to say. With Echeverri, I think the fact that I know we keep seeing him getting off the team coach and going, oh, here we go. He's going to be on the bench, but he isn't. I think that is because Pep, there's no room for him on the bench at the moment. I don't think Pep thinks he's necessarily ready as far as maybe developed, maybe also settled in. But I think Pep wants him to know, you are part of the bigger picture here, right? I need you round this squad, right? Because the plan is you need to be comfortable with these, like they're your brothers, right? But you're not starting. And I honestly think the summer is a lot of it is going to be about Echeverri. I think that Club World Cup, he's going to be a massive player for us. I also think Vitor Hayes, I think Kuzanov, all of them will play a massive part. Right, we're going to wrap it up here. Hamza, really appreciate you jumping on. Would love to get you on more often. But there is other business to take care of now. Our oil brothers are going to take care of it for us.
Wait, are you doing a watch along?
Nah. But bro, I know everyone wants to go and watch this game, so there's no point in me streaming, bro. I want to go and watch this game. I need an early PSG goal. But guys, Hamza, where can people find you?
Yeah, I do on and off Hamza Talks Ball. You can find me there, on YouTube, and you can find me on Twitter.
Yeah, and Hamza's channel is in the title, so people, please make sure you click on that and subscribe to him now. And same with Patrick. Patrick, you got anything coming up? You doing a watch along?
No. I'm not doing PSG watch along on Arsenal. I think
a lot of people do.
You know what? You know what? I saw Generation watch along.
I did a watch along for Arsenal, Real Madrid, second half. I thought, hold on, Arsenal, Real Madrid, 0-0 in Emirates, whatever. I did a watch along. 30 minutes to I said, forget this, man. I was depressed.
Did you lock it off?
I'm going through the pain. I said that no one's paying me for this.
You know what? When you're doing these watch alongs from other teams, you feel
I will
jealous.
never do it again. I'm not doing watch along for Arsenal.
The worst thing is when you're doing a watch along, and you're hoping, and say it's Arsenal, Liverpool, Man United, Chelsea, and you're hoping for a dagger for the other team. And then basically the team goes 2-0 up early doors. You're like, fuck this, man. I don't want to watch Arsenal win 4-0. Just one super chat as well. Massive shout out to Miami Snoopy saying, just a token of appreciation for the consistency with the content lately. Long may it continue and no worries if it can't. It will be continuing. The only thing is, I go away tomorrow afternoon. So 2 more shows tomorrow. Then I'm going to try my best while I'm away to do 1 show a day. But I'm going away with my mates, so I don't even know if I will do that. But I'm going to try my best. But appreciate the super chat. Right, guys, let's hope Arsenal get the W. Appreciate you all joining me.
Did you say let's hope Arsenal get the W?
Sorry, let's hope PSG get the W.
I didn't have a heart attack.
I came out.
All 3 of us are really Arsenal, innit?
Bernardo.